Capricorn. I was wondering, where you?
There you are.
There you go.
Christmas and forward. Except, I'm old enough to be your mother. Almost your granddaughter.
No wonder why we have a healthy sense of respect for each other.
Exactly.
Capricorns tend to
Tenacious,
yeah, how about that?
hardworking.
Is cautiously optimistic listed as
No.
Excuse me, we're pessimists.
I don't believe
I
so.
don't believe
No,
so.
I read it in the newspaper today.
Oh, okay. We hope the same. Take care.
If
Happy
you do,
holiday.
it's his fault, no. If you do, it's his fault.
Which one did the three illegal?
The lawyer, we're the lawyer.
Except for branch of government.
The city mayor after him.
Whoa.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, but he gets a Christmas card from the attorney.
Yeah.
Tom's not here tonight, or is?
Well, we don't. We're gonna say.
I haven't seen him, so I'm here next year. Or sure, Jim's here. Jim's here. Anything for public comment this evening? I have an answer for you, so I wanted to let you know about the JCEO thing that you asked last week.
Right.
It's a pretty simple answer. The party for JCEO is basically paid in 2 installments. January 31st is the end of end of the contract, so it won't extend. JCEO has a tendency to do a dash kind of in the forwarding of where they're moving, so it will end in 2019, and we'll,
Got it.
okay?
Thank you.
Yep. Just, I have 2 very quick items. We formally have received information that the receivership will be extended. So we had talked about that, but just wanted to let you folks know. One of the, and I haven't found out exactly who it is, but one of the local funeral homes was misunderstood, and they had told a couple of people that we had taken it over already, so we were getting a couple of phone calls, and we just told folks, nope, Connie Goddard is still involved with it, and in fact, there is a leak in the roof.
No.
So, that is being addressed,
And that was just discovered very recently, or?
within the last several days.
Okay.
To the point where I had a very upset woman reach out to me. I personally went down, I took a photo of it, engaged. So, and that's, why we are taking our time with all of this. But I just want to thank Connie publicly again for her willingness to step up and help through the receivership. So,
Extension for 6 months, Michael, can you?
I think it's
talk about any-
June.
June.
Yeah, I think it's June. And I put a verbal asterisk on this. We have said a number of times that we thought that the receivership could be done, at the end of the year. And ultimately, my position and the town board has always basically expressed the position that we don't want it at all, right? But we would only take it over at the, in a forced situation where everything was done on the punch list and done appropriately. That the moral and ethical responsibilities were met, and that's where Connie really has been very, very helpful, because she wasn't jamming anything, where she could have just said, well, it looks like it's all complete. She knew that paperwork, and Ricky's still gonna need to be trained on that stuff. So there's some things that will need to be addressed. The second item, I just wanted to, as this is the last meeting of the year, personally thank all of the council members for a great year, and also you, Rick, and our sole attendee on a regular basis.
Yeah.
How many years have you been coming in all honesty now?
12.
12 years?
12 years.
have these been the best years?
That sounds like a soap opera.
I would say if we could judge best years in terms of how long the meetings were, by far, these are the best years.
Well, you know, and I want, I mean this very sincerely, that,
I think Jim would probably agree.
I think efficiency at meetings carries over to efficiency in all departments.
but open to constructive criticism. I mean, I do appreciate, you know, you don't come every single week with, you know, a comment, but if you did, I mean, we try to take it to heart, and if people have thoughts and comments, please, let us know, and that goes for the council as well. Just appreciate the team that we have. You know, I'll just reflect a little bit more deeper, and then I really will shut up. When I first became supervisor, I had a chance to go to one of the early trainings, and it was amazing how many supervisors who were just starting were talking about how dysfunctional their boards were. I mean, really, they were just talking about, it's gonna be a rough 2 years, it's gonna be a rough 4 years, or whatever, and I know we don't always agree, but, you know, the efforts put forward by you folks on a daily basis, I very, very much appreciate. The support and the challenging. I mean, sometimes we have some of those, you know, one-to-one conversations where we may not always agree, right, Meg?
Yeah, look this way too.
She
So,
doesn't agree.
But,
She can't
Working
agree.
your way.
but I do thank you folks. So, Happy New Year, and to a good 2019. In that kind of direction, Ricky is gonna need some support for 2019. We do have a number of draft resolutions, but I pulled 3 of them out for some hopeful action items tonight. And I'm gonna bring to the floor 255, the appointment of a deputy town clerk and register of vital statistics, Mary Tuck.
$255, is that?
Hey, I'm gonna give it number 255.
Whereas Town Clerk Rick Collins has submitted a letter dated December 26, 2018, appointing Mary Teff as Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Register of Vital Statistics for the Town of Plattsburgh to serve at the pleasure of the Town Clerk. Now therefore be resolved, the Town Board does hereby accept the appointment of Ms. Teff as Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Registrar, and it be further resolved that Ms. Teff take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and that a copy of this resolution be put in her personnel file, and one be sent to the State Retirement Board. And it be further resolved that this takes effect at a rate of pay of $12 per hour, and be resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Before I look for a motion, I'm gonna make a suggestion in the dotted space. Rick and I had a little bit of a conversation. She's gonna need a background check, so what I was gonna suggest is that this would take effect the day after we get her background check, if that's
Yeah.
open to folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's okay with me.
With that in mind, is there a motion for the resolution?
So,
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Cashman, have you met Mary? Has anyone else on the board met Mary?
I have not
Nope.
met her. Do you want to tell us a little bit about her?
She applied at the same time when Amy had applied. She was one of the 5 people, but at that time she was living in Beekmantown. And they have since sold their house in Beekmantown and moved to 299 Cumberland Head Road. So she's in the town now.
Okay.
So it just happened to be onto it. She sent me an email and she said if there's any openings, I do live in the town now, and I said, come see me. So it just transpired. I know her, probably 20 years ago. She was working and living in Albany, New York. She worked for a friend of mine that had Bill Bowen Albany Adjusters onto it. She was a secretary, file clerk, and all of that stuff for him onto it. And then after he opened up an office up here in the ice storm, and that's what brought her up here onto it. So, and she's got numerous backgrounds of degrees and all this other stuff onto it. She's 65 years old She doesn't want anything permanent, it's just something to get her out of the house to get her going. I mean, it's just, everything just happened to fall into place, so I'm lucky to have her. You know, I mean, it's just, she's very, very personable to work with people and stuff, you know, that, so.
Her hours, Rick, you haven't had a chance to?
No, not yet, I just, I'm,
Okay.
you know, flexible with it, so. I gotta get her trained to get all the licenses and all the rigmarole first, and then, well, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good.
Yeah, I would just add, Rick, that, you know, one of the ongoing points of conversation has been to maximize the coverage of your office, and also to get, down to the vault, you know, that's one of those ongoing items, so, okay.
Yep.
Any other further discussion?
Well, I don't wanna delay the process here, but I think it's important for some of us to meet Mary.
Okay, who was this?
She wants to meet Mary.
Oh, sure. Sounds good.
Do you have any thoughts, Barb, both on the personnel committee?
It wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't, I recognize the name, and you're probably right, it was one of the five, other than that,
Yep. So,
might make it nice, easy.
well, I
for her
wasn't
to-
gonna, I said, once the board approves her, then it goes to the human resources to run the background, and then I said, when all of that stuff is done, then I'll call you, and, you know, you can start coming in, so.
When you said not
If
to
you wanna
delay the
talk to her prior
background
to
check?
that, I can call her.
Before the background check?
Or any of this, I don't know if we should table it until we can meet Mary, or if you think we should just go through with it and then have a meeting with her. Cashman, what do you think?
Having had a chance to and I will put a asterisk on, very briefly see her resume, she has, what I believe is a good skill set. I think she and I have met before, but, you know, just names and faces at the moment. And really, I think that Ricky, as the clerk, has the opportunity for appointment. I think that he's coming upon a time where he really needs that extra hands. But I would recommend to Rick that if she's not working out, you know, that, you know, I know you don't have a probationary period, I mean, it's a little bit different. But you may wanna have that conversation with her, like anybody, so. At this point, I'm prepared to vote yes, so.
I think the other thing is you can do it in tandem. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go ahead with the process and you can meet her.
Totally.
And they're not like they're exclusive
Yeah, they're not-
propositions.
Right.
The good timing for you, so.
Any further? Seeing none, we're gonna do a roll call.
Okay, Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Coster,
Yes.
Michael Cass.
Yes, absolutely, carries. All right, resolution 256, the Morrisonville ambulance service contract.
Whereas it is at the recommendation of the ambulance committee that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board continue to extend an existing agreement and to enter into a memorandum of understanding as a supplemental agreement to effect the fee for service from January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. A payment schedule is required communication between the parties. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor be authorized to sign the attached memorandum of understanding with Morrisonville Schuyler Falls Volunteer Ambulance Service to provide services as indicated. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and Morrisonville Schuyler Falls Volunteer Ambulance Service.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, Costick, discussion.
Can I just, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ladies first.
Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. I'm concerned about the different wording between this, calling it a contract extension and MOU for Morrisonville, and calling it a service agreement with CDPH. I believe they're both the same thing, and I'd love to see these resolutions have similar wording, if
Well,
not be.
If you would like,
should have at the end of the day before this meeting.
Yep,
So,
Your concern is specific to what, Meg?
just not having it, the same resolution for two
yeah,
entities.
we're trying to get the agreements to be very similar, and I think we have achieved that. And just for consistency's sake, would love to see the resolutions mirror that.
No, that makes sense.
I'm gonna make a recommendation, see if this is acceptable. Taking the language of 256, when we get to 257, supplementing that language, and simply just adopting the same resolution, exchanging where Morrisonville to CVPH.
So, CVPH is 256?
257. So the boilerplate would be the one that we're working on now.
Yeah, I would flip-flop those, I think the language in CVPH one is clearer.
Okay,
And
that's,
it-
so,
It talks about a service agreement rather than an actual contract,
Okay.
and I believe that's what this is.
okay,
Jim, can you just clarify a little bit, the MOU, memorandum of understanding, that's just language that
Well,
we can,
a memorandum of understanding basically is not a contract.
okay.
But a lot of times they use it, but really it's a terms and conditions. I presume we want a contract with both these matters, is that correct?
in fact, Meg,
This is an agreement.
Well, the contract and agreement are similar, yeah.
in fact, Meg, we could do this in one resolution. I mean, we could choose not to do 256, just let it fail off the table. Go to 257, and because the same service time of January 1st to December 31st, and just add CVPH ambulance service agreement and that of Morrisonville ambulance service contract.
Well, these are the same contract as last year, basically.
It's the, yeah, the ones that
Next
you can post
question,
on,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought they were.
So,
Okay.
that could be the cleanest.
I'd be in favor of that,
Okay,
just
so,
simplify the whole thing.
with no objection, I'm gonna let this fall off the table.
And I don't mean to complicate what's happening here, I just think it will simplify.
Well, yeah, they made a motion,
So we're gonna, that's it.
yeah, they made a
Okay,
motion
we're
in a
gonna
second,
let it fail.
yeah.
No,
But I'm gonna keep the number, so that's why I'm having it fail, Debbie.
okay, so 257 is not gonna be 257 anymore.
No, the 256 is failing, so it keeps the
Oh,
number.
okay.
Okay.
That's why I
Okay.
wanna do it
Got
that
it,
way.
okay.
So I wanted to have a number, so historically, we can
Got
go
it.
back and see that we made that, okay?
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I
So
hope we can do.
257
It's gonna combine the two.
is gonna combine the two.
Okay.
So let me make some recommendations here for consideration. Resolution 257, CVPH ambulance service agreement and MSFVAS service agreement. Okay?
Yes,
Resolved that after review and approval of the town attorney and renewal agreement between CVPH ambulance service and MS.
Morrisonville, Schuyler Falls.
I would actually word it between CVPH and the town of Plattsburgh, because that's who the agreement is between, and then add another.
Okay. Here, you tell me and I'll
Right.
scribe.
I just don't want it to appear like the
No, no,
agreement
but,
is between CVPH.
nope, that's-
and the town of Falls. Between CVPH Ambulance Service, Inc. and the town of Plattsburgh,
Yeah, as well as, or,
sure. Morrisonville, Schuyler Falls Volunteer Ambulance Service and the town of Plattsburgh.
okay. Are hereby the same is approved for the period of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And further resolved that the supervisor be and he hereby is authorized to sign said agreements for the town, and therefore be it resolved that a copy of this resolution and contract agreement be given to the finance manager, and the respective CFO, EMT for CFPH ambulance, and, Morrisonville volunteer service. All right,
Thank you.
no problem. See, we can edit things on the fly. All right, now that that has been laid on the table, is our motion for said resolution?
So moved.
Wave. Is there a second? Caustic, any discussion on that item as it sits?
Just thanks to Meg for taking care of it. We chased it around there a bit. At
Yeah.
the end, I did have a discussion with Leonard King from Morrisonville. They are interested in a multi-year contract, and it's my understanding that they have a multi-year contract with the town of Schuyler Falls currently. Somebody we can reach out to Rick and see exactly how they arrived at that. I think it'll make it a
That'll make
little bit
sense.
easier for everybody for budgeting purposes for the town and for both ambulance services.
I would also offer, or add, I should say, Danny Leclerc, of Clinton, is chairing the subgroup for EMT services for the Clinton County Supervisor Association. When we had our last meeting, he said, it's just, he hasn't been able to get a small group together, but he's been reaching out to some folks to begin that dialogue. And all of the supervisors have a great interest in having more conversation about how we can either share contracts and just get a better understanding of what people are spending on what services. And that's not a poke at the service providers, it's at just trying to get a better understanding, is there an opportunity for shared services as a county, or, within kind of pockets or regions, a northern tier, southern tier, and just explore stuff, because we're not the only communities that are continuing to try to get our arms wrapped around this.
And I would agree completely. You see other counties around us that are migrating towards a county-type service. What you have right now is, to your point with pockets, you have bits and pieces, it's kind of a patchwork of services throughout the county, so. But I would agree, I think step one would be to see what rates look like and kind of take it from there and work together, so.
I think that's a great idea. I'm grateful to have Chuck on the committee with me. He's got an understanding of this.
Yeah, that helps out.
Deeper than most people do.
All right, roll call, please.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Coxton,
Yes.
Mike Cashel.
Yes, resolution does carry. All right. Getting back into some draft material, we will have draft minutes, monthly reports. We also have some reappointments for Carol Ruger to the Finance Committee, Elizabeth Duhane to the Finance Committee, Vassal Forrest to the ZBA. We also have items for the cinema license renewal. Ricky, is that an item, I didn't get that question answered, were you looking to have that done tonight or not for the cinema
Well, it
renewal?
ends at the end of this year. The other one Regal hasn't responded to me yet after I've called them several times.
So what's your preference? Do you?
Yeah, yes, you
Want to?
should, because the other one, Cumberland 12 responded with the correct paperwork and stuff, where Regal Cinema hasn't.
Is that something that you have to seek out, or do they come to you?
No, I seek them out. It renewals every year at the same time, and we send them the renewal paper, and they just,
So what happens, it's clearly gonna lapse
that's-
for Regal, so what
Stevie
happens?
hasn't gone to inspect it because they haven't paid.
Pay what?
Their
So,
license fee.
It's just, he's got all the paperwork to inspect it and do all of that, but he hasn't, he called me, and then before he left to go on vacation, he said, I'm not gonna inspect it until they pay, like we do every year.
So what happens if they lapse?
Well, they're supposed to be paid through to the end of December.
I think you have the
So,
authority to close it.
Yeah.
You probably don't wanna do that, but I mean, you sort of do it.
Shut it down.
I mean, every year it's been Regal has, falls behind 30 days or more.
Yeah, the other one's pretty good though, isn't
It's
it,
been a recurring
Rick?
thing.
The other theater's better in terms of responding.
Yeah, well,
Because they're more.
the last year, the lady that, is a tax accountant that did all her paperwork and stuff is no longer there, she resigned. So it goes to somebody else, that's what I've been told twice now. You know, and I said, well, this has been a problem for the last 5 or 6 years. Every year, we send the paperwork a month ahead of time and it just, you know, it lags out.
Okay, well, let's lay on the floor then, 258 Cumberland
Yeah.
12 cinema license application.
Got it, Rick?
Whereas to comply with the Town of Plattsburgh codes and zoning laws, Cumberland 12 Cinemas has applied for a license to conduct and operate a cinema known as Cumberland 12 Cinemas located in the Town of Plattsburgh at 18 North Grove Lane, Route 9. And whereas the applicant has applied to receive a license fee of $500, and whereas the Codes Department has completed their inspection and has found Cumberland 12 in compliance with local laws of New York State regulations and codes. Now therefore be resolved to receive and place on file an application for license to conduct and operate Cumberland 12 Cinema. And be further resolved, the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue said license for a period of January 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hubert, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. So does Carrie. All right. Sexual harassment policy revision. Just doing some slight works as we have gotten some advice on reporting, not having specific names per se, but using a title structure, using the personnel committee as well, okay? Procedures for good revision, and then 3% site plan returns. And just so you know, in the future, I'm gonna be working on helping to restructure kind of the committee reports so that we can invite some of our department heads in. They won't be coming monthly, I don't think, but, to do some presentations and stuff from the conversations that we've had,
Okay.
okay? So, I don't see any need to have an executive session this evening, so unless there's a motion otherwise.
Shucks, Betty?
Ending the year on a good,
Yeah. We still have some outstanding things out there, but, no new material, so, all right? That is it.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful evening, drive safe, and see you all in the new year.
I got these, contracts, for the services. Are they similar everywhere?
You're one step ahead, I've gotta do that.
Oh,
The amount of money.
We're ready,
But they
we're
do
ready for
provide-
next
what if
Yeah.
they're never
oh,
made?
you're
It's
getting
not,
it.
it's not everywhere. One of them.
Happy New Year,
I
Deb.
wanted to tell you that there's a box outside of the Tim's
More
office,
expensive
and
than
it's
the
not a
others.
bomb.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's a mailbox.
But just because it's taking no.
You just, you never know, you know what I'm saying here?
But I did have the final bits.
Okay, the cheaper one